minute, fellas. Look here. Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Draw Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band. This is the Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, Kevin, along with my super friends, Ben.
Ahoy.
And Chad.
What's up?
Welcome to the show, folks. This is Mulvey, along with Head Najarhigo and C-Lab Forever, as always. This week, we are talking about the 2023 film, Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
D&D,
Let's
bro.
nerd the fuck out. High level.
Fucking nat 20, bro.
High level. Who's going first?
So when this dropped, I had no idea what to think. Dungeons and Dragons movies don't particularly have a great pedigree.
Fuck.
But I kept hearing good things about it. So I checked it out a couple of weeks ago when it dropped on Peacock or whenever it was. And yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty fun.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Is this something I'm going to remember when I'm 90? Probably not. But it was an entertaining watch for the time spent.
Indeed.
Some good comedy, some great fight scenes. It was good. Good creatures, good effects. I'll leave it there.
All right, that's good.
I feel like D&D, the idea of a D&D movie is like, yeah, that could be good, and it never is. Just like the idea of a Punisher movie could be good, and it kind of rarely is. Like, back in the day, kind of. I don't know. There was an old 90s era D&D movie, I think, that I would have seen, and it was the worst thing in the universe. But this one,
okay,
totally different, man. Like, yeah, I think you brought this one to the table in terms of just shooting the shit about it in the background, Benny, and we're like, yeah, no, it's pretty good. I was like, oh, fucking sweet. I'll check it out. And then watched it for the first time this week for this episode and was absolutely delighted. Like, it was fucking hilarious. Oh, I used the D word. I propose a delighted death.
Yeah, it's going to be populated entirely by you, but we're gonna do that, man.
But it was great.
It is your jam.
It is.
It was a really, really fun movie. It was funny as fuck and had some, very, very obvious influences that I'm sure we'll talk about that, fit the formula of the modern kind of blockbustery kind of movie. And I love me some Chris Pine, and it was very entertaining.
Nice. Similarly to the two of you, I didn't. When one of you guys said there was a D&D movie, I was like, "What? A D&D movie?
Who gives a fuck?"
Well, I mean, here's the thing. My knowledge of D&D is really owning a Dungeons & Dragons t-shirt that I found in TJ Maxx and being a devotee of the Dungeons & Dragons animated series when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That was so awesome, man.
Did you notice them in this one?
I didn't, but I did find that out as I was reading some nuggets in the what I now refer to as the "Let's Make Nuggets Not Fun" IMDb.
Yeah, they're like one of the other teams in the maze.
Yeah, exactly, man. Which I thought was really, really cool, and I was pissed that I didn't pick it out myself. But I was sitting there racking my brain trying to think of what the original names of those characters were, and I thought Simon was one of them, but I was totally wrong, of course. So, yeah. Aside from those two things, I really don't know a lot about D&D. I didn't really know what to think of this and like what how I was supposed to react, really probably from a nerd perspective, but like whatever, man. I'm such a sucker for Chris Pine, dude. The guy is so great and so funny, such a versatile actor, man. And he's just quick, dude. So, Michelle Rodriguez and I'm become a born again Hugh Grant fan as well. So
no doubt.
Yeah, the movie was just fun, dude. Like Benny said, great creatures and cool spells and effects and shit. Like it was just like a fun romp, exactly what it should be, I guess. You know what I mean? And kind of pay homage to the game and you know, do a little fan service and, you know, whatever, man. Just like have fun with it. And they did just that. And I guess that's good and that worked. I don't know how well this movie's tracking or tracked or did, but I thought it was fun and great. Again, like Ben, probably won't remember this in 5 years, much less 100 years, but, you know, it was fun. It was fun to watch. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it made 50 mil on a 150 mil budget, so it cleared 200. Made some money. Was not a flop.
50 mil on a 200. Wait.
So it
what?
cost 150 and they made 50 equals 200. So they made a little bit of money.
Got it. All right, good.
Yeah, seems pretty well liked, and I'm not. I mean, I know a little bit about D&D, but I'm not like a huge D&D nerd. And apparently, they really did the lore correct. You know,
satisfied the neckbeards,
like the creatures and the places they were, and some of the characters are like legacy characters. So
yeah, sweet.
Apparently, the hardcore D&D nerds were fairly pleased with the representation of that world.
They tippity tapped their sausage fingers together and were very happy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, similarly, I don't think I ever played D&D, but I definitely played a little bit of other role-playing games when I was a pre-tween. And I was turned on to the Adventure Zone podcast, of which we've spoken a little bit about in here, and it's essentially a D&D podcast. Did you ever listen to that one, Benny?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so that was
I kind of gave up on the newer seasons.
Yes,
not for anything, but I had a better time listening to it like in a like chunk, waiting for it like every other week or whatever. It was kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly the same.
Get back to it at some point, I guess.
So yeah, that first season of the Adventure Zone, which is the dudes from My Brother and Me, the McElroys, was just super fun and funny, and it was a D&D game. And so like just getting to hear 70 hours of that kind of refamiliarized me with the game a bit, and kind of like the shit that happens. Like one of the things those guys do in the podcast is they'll have like a pregame where they'll like talk about their characters before starting the game, and then after the game's over, 2 years later, 70 hours later, they'll be like, so what did you think about this and this and this? And the dungeon master in the first season was just like, dude, you guys would come up with the fucking weirdest shit, and I'd have to like improv on the spot what was going to happen. And so I feel like I caught glimmers of that in here, like the scene where Holga's like, oh, is that fucking axe by Blurkin Flurkenberken? I can tell by the rust on the hilt, And she's like pulling a paving stone out of the ground, like you could totally see the D&D table where the guy's like, I buy a time and I pull a paving stone out and smash him in the face with it, and it's like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of dug that, and that I feel like that's probably some of the stuff that the neckbeards were stoked with, is just how ridiculous some of it was, because people just do weird shit in those environments. So
yeah, I think the idea was to make it much like a campaign,
totally.
much like that, including like the main characters, sort of, like forming the team and all that stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we need to go get this like super secret fucking helmet, like the huge side quest.
Mm-hmm.
And to come back to the main quest. So like it follows the classic fantasy tropes, and the classic fantasy tropes are, a lot of it are based in kind of the D&D space a little bit. So it was cool. Crossing the streams a bit was cool. There's a lot of funny shit in there.
Yeah, that's what I kind of realized, I think, because I watched this actually when we got done recording last week, Chad, and I was like, let me just go ahead and watch this now. I don't have anything else to watch. And I was trying to watch it from a perspective of like, and subsequently through the week as I thought about it more, I was like, really kind of trying to look at it through like a fan's eye, you know what I mean? Instead of like let me analyze this film like every week. Yeah, it sucks, Like,
yeah.
And if I was looking at this as like from that point of view, I'd probably be like contemporary dialogue, stupid, this, I hate that, like whatever. So I threw all that bullshit out the window and just like had fun with it when I watched it, and kind of tried to watch it from a fan's eye. I don't really know it. Again, I don't know enough of the lore to really like kind of nerd out on it, but I'm glad that other clans of nerds were watching this and being satisfied in their nerdery. So there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it seems totally reasonable.
Yeah, and the budget was good. It had like good paint and polish on it, man. It just looked really good. Something that I haven't really, I think, had a chance to see. And I was skimming through, like I typed in Dungeons and Dragons on IMDb earlier, and I was like, 4 movies? I was like, I don't remember no 4 D&D movies. And then I realized half remembered that Jeremy Irons one.
Do you remember this? They were all straight-to-video Steven Seagal movies.
Pretty awful.
No, yeah, well, the other ones were straight-to-video Seagal movies. But, yeah, there was that one Jeremy Irons one, and I was just like, I don't even remember this shit. But, you know, I don't know.
I watched like the first 10 minutes of it not too long ago, and that was it. That was as far as I got.
Fair enough.
Enough of this nonsense.
Yeah, but I think, like, you know, again, it was, you know, it was cool to see a property like this that's not fucking comic books for one thing, and, you know, some other bullshit books, you know, just something different.
Yeah.
And seeing this turned into, you know, like or come to life rather on film, man, and see this given some service and given some due, and you know, there's a legion of Dungeons and Dragons fans out there. Like, I tried playing it when I was a kid. I just did not have the wherewithal or the patience for it. And I was just like, somebody threw down graph paper in front of me, and I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? Where are all the creatures and shit? I was like, where are all the creatures and shit? I was like, wait, I got to imagine all this? And then I was like, no. You know, so like, whatever, man. But, you know, I'm glad that everybody got their, you know, sort of their nerd on for it. The other clans, the D&D nerd clans.
Me and one of the neighborhood kids used to try to play, but I don't think we quite had the wherewithal yet. And also, we couldn't get anybody else in the neighborhood interested.
Yeah.
So, like, it was kind of a hard thing to pull off with, like, just 2 people. But,
yeah, totally.
We definitely had a good time, like, rifling through all the books and, you know, just making characters and, you know, drawing and shit. So.
I mean, the only real, like, sort of nerd out homage to this that we've seen, at least in my recollection, which could be and possibly is wrong, would be, you know, the kids in Stranger Things. Like, I mean, the whole kind of campaign mirrors what happens in the story of the show, and it's fantastic, man. And I loved that. And what I loved about it was that, you know, contrary to this, you're watching them, like, actually play the game, you know, and they had the little pewter figurines and all that kind of thing. And it was very cool. It was cool to see all that stuff, but
no doubt,
I just could never get into it.
I've for a couple of years now secretly wanted us to do a D&D podcast. All that spare time we've got, I think it'd be, I think it'd be fun to play. It's just good, like, getting the time to do it, you know, like listening to the Adventure Zone dudes. Like, it just seems like a good time. But
and I tried getting into that, and I couldn't get into it. We talked about that years ago, but. Yeah, I'd be into doing something like that. I mean, you know,
in 10 years when we have time.
It's like one of our next side project that's not a book series.
We could always make a departure from talking about movies. I mean, we've only done 200 plus episodes about movies.
200 plus movies.
I don't know how listeners would feel about it, but I would be up for it. It'd be fun.
If we could make it like an extra, that would be cool.
Sure.
Not interrupt our own flow of nerdery.
That's it.
You know? So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I think what you were saying about it not being a comic book movie, like, it's like, I'll take a proto death just for your buddy. It's like a proto comic book.
Just said proto.
Exactly. I've taken a proto death.
And delightful. God damn it, dude.
Proto Baggins, dude.
Oh my God. You're dead again for that. Holy shit. I like it though, but you're still dead.
I feel, I mean, it's like this, you know, D&D was very obviously heavily influenced by Tolkien, and then
Potato.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
You son of a bitch! I'm in. Speaking of heist movies,
holy shit!
You know, it lives from Tolkien like a motherfucker, and like despite the fact that it was in parallel to all the comic book come up, like it's very in a similar vein, you know, like. I feel like this one for me was kind of like the Lego movie where I was like, they're making a fucking Lego movie? What the fuck? That's so dumb. Right? And then you watch, you're like, this is a great fucking movie.
It's so great.
And I feel like this is kind of the same, where it's like, I think this is going to be pretty shit. And it's like, that's pretty fucking good, actually. So
no, it was awesome, man.
Kudos to them, man.
And it was, yeah.
Oh, I mean, everybody knows I'm not the biggest fantasy head in the world, but I do like a good fantasy movie, and there really haven't been a lot of them lately. So
no,
it's kind of cool to see something newer, you know.
Yeah, the best
Well,
fantasy bit that I've seen in years is your recommendation of the first Witcher season. Like, it's just, you don't see much great fantasy
Agreed.
anymore.
No,
Yeah.
and riffing off the two of you, I think that most of what's been put out, right, that is fantasy is like so fucking overly serious, man. Like everybody's trying to come up with like the next kind of Game of Thrones / Lord of the Rings thing, and it has to be a series, and everybody is so serious about it. Like they came out with that one on Amazon Prime, which I actually want to watch
Rings of
because,
Power.
and only no, not that. There's
Oh.
another one, and it was because
not the
Rosamund.
Wheel of Time.
Is that the Rosamund Pike one?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it just because I like her a lot.
Ooh.
Is it terrible?
I mean, I started watching it and it didn't really maintain my interest, but then I was talking to, a bunch of the nerds that we all know are huge Wheel of Time fans, and they were appalled by the portrayal here. Like they just kind of apparently did what they wanted to with it. I don't know that much about it personally, but
fair enough.
And also, ever since I saw Rosamund Pike in, I forget what the hell the name of the movie is, but she's with Tyrion Lannister in it, and she's such an awful person. Like it's like the effect that I had with what's his face there, Scagnetti on Scagnetti there from the fucking Scanner movie. From not the Scanner movie. Jesus, I'm fucking blowing it everywhere. Anyways,
keep blowing chunks. You'll hit.
Anyway, she's in a movie with fucking Tyrion Lannister, and she steals like old people's lives essentially. Like she gets like a doctor to say that they have dementia, and then she like puts them in the care of like a home, and she just takes all their shit and sells it. So like she's just like this really awful person. So like
that's
every time I see her, all I can think about is that character, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh, I got you. So you're saying that you're having like sort of that transposition problem where like this one movie so powerfully left a bad taste in your mouth that you kind of think of like that's the way she is, and you don't want to see the other shit kind of thing.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. Like your man from Strange Days that played the creeper. Like
yes.
Sizemore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally, man.
Exactly. I had a similar thing with him. Like every time I saw him, I was just like, oh.
I definitely had that for a long time too, with a lot of different people. I care a lot. I just ejected for you there, Benny. Is that the one?
Hmm.
What's that?
The movie I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, Rosamund Pike. I definitely. Yeah, she's one of those people I recognize a fair bit. So I don't know where I know her from, but
I mean, she has done like
a billion things.
So many great, like really interesting wide body of work, and some really, really good stuff too, man. So I don't know.
On the Wheel of Time. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't have that experience with her, man, but she is like some of these movies that she's done are fantastic. Gone Girl in particular was really, really, really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was great. She made me hate her guts. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
She hit a home run.
I mean, I forgot she was in the pretty terrible Wrath of the Titans. I forgot she was in the Doom movie with Carl Urban and
friend of the show,
Black Adam.
Rock.
Yeah. And then, of course, she was in the first Jack Reacher movie, which was really good. So, I don't know, whatever.
Do we want to keep going through the cast of Wheel of Time?
We're only talking about one person from the Wheel of Time, and it's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Just teasing. Like
it's
Wheel
just
of Time,
a tangent shot.
Wheel of Time, for me, I mean, this is the most obvious goddamn thing ever, but like it's like the new foundation and all the new shit. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But it seems like they're all getting the reputation of serious departures from their source material, so all the neckbeards are frothy about it.
Yeah.
Right. So what I was talking about when I brought up that digression of Rosamund Pike was that, these other sort of, sword and sandal shows, whatever, movies, properties are just like so incredibly overly serious, so like this movie was such a nice, light, fresh breath of air.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, totally.
It didn't take itself too seriously and didn't try too hard, you know, and like the directors themselves are huge D&D nerds. That's a huge plus. The movie holds a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty awesome for
That's a crowd pleaser, man. Like big time.
any movie. Yeah, totally, man. That's a pretty good achievement, you know. So.
You could totally get the fucking Walmart head that's never seen anything other than a Marvel movie in here, and they'd have a good time, you know?
I agree. I think it's kind of like that, right? Don't you guys think?
Totally. This
Yeah.
is
Like,
super
this-
approachable.
Yeah, like for everybody.
Yeah. That was a smart play. And I mean, it's interesting, like, they obviously did that intentionally. And I definitely feel like it opens the franchise up to making some more stuff. And I'd happily watch this crew do other shit. And, you know, it didn't make a shit ton of money, which is fine, but like it made something. So hopefully they do make some more stuff.
Yay.
There's apparently talk of it, so
What's that?
there's apparently talk of it. So
Yeah, that'd be good, man. I mean, I'd love for it to be the same crew, but even if it
Yeah.
isn't, you know, the world is the format I think is
The world
redoable.
is a vampire.
you're dead.
Yeah,
Who, me for
Yes.
fucking Smashing Pumpkins? Why? They're great.
but I love them.
But I love them, Jarhigo. Cheese and crackers, Jarhigo.
Fucking diet swears.
Oh, shit.
Nothing past Siamese Dream.
Wow. All right. Well, no, that's fair. I'm
Siamese
with
Dream's
you, man.
fucking excellent.
I was an original listener of the original album, man. So I'm that kind of nerd about.
I
that
used
shit.
to listen to Billy Corgan when he was in his bedroom learning guitar. All right, man.
that and woke ball cancer.
What influences did you guys pick up on in here? Because I mean, I don't know about you, but this was essentially the fucking fantasy Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like,
Oh, undoubtedly, yeah. So
it was so
There you go.
hardcore Star-Lord.
exactly Guardians
yeah.
of the Galaxy
And, it was amazing.
in a fantasy setting.
Yeah,
Even got Brad Cooper playing a little guy.
exactly.
I
Man.
love
exactly.
that he showed up, dude. That is what makes Bradley Cooper so awesome.
I love
man.
me some Bradley
Is it-
Cooper.
So do I, and he'll just jump in on some little teeny roll.
Ugh.
Hey,
Whoa.
Kev, you made a funny.
Hello, he's like, what did you got? What's for dinner, honey? He's like, I poached a goose and pick up some googleberries for you. He's such a dorky little halfling, man. I just loved him. Man.
Yeah, but he's so great because he delivers everything in every movie with such conviction.
Oh, man, he has
You
so much
can't
heart.
Not believe it. It's great.
Are you happier? Are you happier with her? He's like, well, you used to cry yourself to sleep drunk, and I built you a house. You know, it's just such a sweet little halfling. I love it.
Yeah, he is.
It was fucking great. But yeah, dude, like Holga was fucking Drax. So Drax. It was amazing.
Okay.
Such serious Star-Lord Drax action going on there.
I'm feeling this whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. Let's unpack this further, man. I like this a lot.
What is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just take the stuff from the other things that are going well and package them up and stick them in this IP, you know? Like it's not even to diminish what they did. I think like the hijinks of GOG is what is the best piece of GOG, or one of the best pieces of GOG. And then, you know, there was some serious kind of Kirk vibes with Chris Pine, and maybe it's just Chris Pine, but like he's kind of like eyebrow raisy, sassy, kind of shit talky, quippy.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of Star-Wardy too. So
Yeah, totally.
You know.
Totally. And then, you know, you take the fantasy setting that almost no one cares about outside of nerds, and then you're like, well, what if it's a Ocean's 11 heist movie, you son of a bitch, I'm in, you know? It's like, you know.
Yes.
So they were very intentional, it seems, about it all, and I'm totally on board. It's
Same
fun.
here. So wait, okay. So if Holga is Drax, wait, who is?
Oh, she's like part Drax, part Gamora, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
totally.
we can do some Who's Groot then?
I don't know. Doesn't have to always be a group.
Yeah, I don't think there's a direct comparison for all of them, but
No, I get it. No, I'm just doing it because I want to do it because now you got me thinking about it.
No, stop. No, we're doing this. We're doing it. It was mostly just Edgin and Holga's, you know, the two of them were very Star-Lord and Drax, you know,
Fair enough.
with a little bit of Gamora. And then, you know, there's the Star Trek thing, and then the Ocean's 11 or whatever heist movie thing. The one crew over the Cuckoo's Morty.
with the portal gun.
So much heisting in this, it wasn't even funny.
Rick Sanchez, you son of a bitch!
Sanchez, you son of a bitch.
Hey, Truckula! You son of a bitch! I mean!
It's a clever take on the D&D thing, because like D&D thing is not heisting, but it kind of is heisting. And so it's clever to take the heist format and stick it into D&D, because it makes it more fun than just grinding a dungeon.
It absolutely can be if you want to.
Yeah, that's true. Could be fucking.
But I mean, isn't that the thing of D&D, is that you can just kind of make. I mean, there's like a framework that you work within, but you can basically make up whatever you want.
Yeah,
sort of,
you can do it if you want to.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
for sure.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's cool, and because of that sort of flexibility, that kind of liquid quality of it, I think that's part of what makes this movie work so good. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And like, it's a very, very obvious influence that I didn't pick up until the credits roll, but there's clearly some Monty Python in here too.
That was mentioned in numerous things that I read about this. You know, that they wanted to even, I think, at one point put the cast of Monty Python in the movie. But
that would have been fun.
I mean, not a ton, but a little Fat Dragon.
Dude, the Fat Dragon.
Zombie.
God, I love the Fat Dragon.
Fat Dragon was great.
Kitty cat, fat kitty cat dragon.
Yes, very much had that quality to it.
You on a motorcycle? I like it.
No.
Someone's on a motorcycle with us.
Like, just gonna go for a ride, guys. Hang on. Let me get my Daft Punk helmet.
Instead of us being on the motorcycle, there's a motorcycle on us.
Mm-hmm.
I was psyched for Fat Dragon because initially when they just showed the head, it looked exactly like I used to have like this D&D poster when I was a kid, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
a warrior standing on a pile of treasure, and there's like a dragon, lording over him, and it looked exactly like that dragon. Had the same exact look, and I was like, "Oh wow, they nailed it!" And then it came out, and it was like, fat bastard. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good."
Yeah.
Came out. It came out and meowed and showed everyone its asshole. It's like, all right, kitty cat dragon. It's so funny.
Yeah,
like
and the
fat slides.
the zombie, questioning scene was very Monty Python.
Oh, very. Yeah,
yes.
that was super Monty Python,
and very funny too.
Super funny, man.
Really good.
Yeah,
I loved that whole thing. I don't know, like who wrote the dialogue for this.
What's your favorite food?
They did.
Oats. No barley.
No barley. What's 2 + 2? I was never good at math.
Do you like cats? Not really.
Not really.
But I liked how in the kind of the discovery round, like the first one, like he just like it started picking up steam, and then it was just like back forth, boom, the guy falls flat. That was it. He was dead again. It was great.
It was funny, man.
That was funny.
Super Monty Python. Yeah, it was probably the most Monty Python bit.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, no doubt. There was just so much good shit, dude. Like, I don't know. It was very clearly it was very self-aware. Most notably by the Zank bridge scene where he's like, we move in sequence, every odd numbers, and then everyone follows, and then the dude just puts his foot on the bridge. Like, that was very funny.
Yeah, it was almost like a Leroy Jenkins moment.
Yeah, no doubt.
Most definitely.
And then the scene where Zank's like, okay, bye, guys, and just walks straight over the rock like the video games. Like, that was fucking classic, dude. I loved how self-aware that was. It was so funny.
Yeah, apparently the joke was that Zank was like an NPC, so that's why he was so
boring,
straight-laced. and yeah, exactly.
Dude, Zank was like one of the highlights of the movie for me, dude. He was so funny, dude.
Yeah, no, he was great.
He's so good. I loved how fucking Chris Pine's character just hated his guts too. Like, it was just so perfect. It was very speaking of GOG, it was very Star-Lord and Thor, like Star-Lord getting super jealous of Thor's godliness and shit.
Yes. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Well said, sir. I don't know. There was just so much good shit in there. Even just the opening sequence with the prison and being like, we gotta wait for fucking Eagle Dude.
Jarnathan.
It's like, yes, Jonathan, you're here. Like, enough, go on with your story. And push him out the fucking window. It's like, but we were going to free you. So stupid.
That's when I kind of, like in the beginning, honestly, like the first bit, I was like, oh boy, here we go. This is like all contemporary dialogue and stupid. And like, I'm going to get annoyed in 5 seconds. But then, like as they started going through the trial, like I that's when I kind of like realized I was like, this is funny.
Yeah, it perked you up for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like just how they were like, oh no, you already told that part of the story. Quit stalling. Get back on trial. Like, it was so good.
No doubt.
And again, like not having any rules that they needed to play by in terms of like what any kind of dialogue needed to be or anything like that, I think is a really big strength to why this movie is so good and did so well,
Yeah.
I feel like the contemporary dialogue is fine in this movie because, the world of Dungeons and the characters in Dungeons and Dragons are played by contemporary people.
Yeah.
Totally.
When people do campaigns, so it's not like,
yes.
Everyone should have a wizardly voice.
You should. I want to
that
hear
just
that
would have
all day.
made it so annoying and stupid. And quite honestly, I think you take exactly the thought I had during the week, Ben, was that. I was like, well, wait a second. Like, this is just like how, people playing the game would talk. So this is exactly how it should be. You know what I mean? So I think you're exactly right.
Yeah. You don't want to get stuck with a shitty accent. I mean, some of the Adventure Zone more recent seasons, there was one where one of the dudes was like the rock breaker from fucking Neverending Story. So for like 2 years, he's like, it's like, that would be the most annoying thing to have to do week to week. And then one of the other ones did a French accent for like 2 years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's hard to do that
but
prolonged,
So, yeah, I hadn't considered that as the contemporary dialogue, but yeah, you make a great point. I was just going to say, Holga, dude, like, I have such a soft spot for Michelle Rodriguez. I've always loved Michelle Rodriguez ever since Girl Fight, her debut. Like, that was a really good movie. I never really got into the Fast and Furious shit, as discussed recently with The Wick, but I don't know. She's fucking great in this, man. She's so perfect.
Yeah, she was, and one of the things I liked in the original Avatar.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, she's great, man. She was excellently physical in this. Like those fight scenes with her were fucking outstanding.
Yeah, kicks some
she's
serious
really
ass.
great like that, man.
Yeah, excellent.
She can bring great physicality to any project or role that she does, man. She's really good like that.
And maybe this is a good little segue into the fights, where I watched it for a second time yesterday or whatever, and noticed how obviously influenced wrestling was for Holga. Like, she was doing tons of like wrestling-y kind of moves, and I dug that. It was a cool idea. The fights were so much fun, especially that initial fight sequence with the axe dude. Well, like, she just kicks the shit out of 15 guys, and Chris Pine's like, we got him now. And he's just like rubbing ropes against stairs, like completely not part of the fight at all. Really like that.
Trying to free himself.
Yeah, dude. She just completely lays waste, and he does nothing, which was really funny later too with Doric, the Ginge with horns, who's just like, what do you do again? He's like, I make plans. Well, you've made the plan, so what value are you adding now? He's like,
what do we need you for?
Make another plan, Speaking of Doric, man, she had some serious Ellen Page vibes.
Wait, what? Ellen Page?
Yeah,
I guess
she
so.
Some,
she did.
Juno-y kind of vibes. She was an interesting character.
She was. I don't know what it is. I'm always a sucker for shapeshifters, man.
I mean, fucking hey, they're cool as hell.
They are. The Camelor and Star Trek 6 and freaking Odo, man. Like, I don't know. I've always loved shapeshifters.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like that in Thunderheart, there's a lot of talk in Thunderheart with Val Kilmer about, the Indians shape-shifting, man, and turning into the various different creatures they can take forms of and escape or do this or do that, and it was like they don't really get too deep into it in the movie, but it's just such a cool concept.
No doubt.
Manimal.
Oh shit, you had to. And I'm glad you did, because I didn't think about that. Yes.
Yeah. They do a great job in this, the whole scene where she goes in to like scope out the vault.
Yeah.
And gets sussed out and like, just changing from one thing to the other in her escape attempt. Like, it was just.
Oh, that was such a great sequence.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah, Benny, why has nobody made like a Manimal show? Like, there should be a new Manimal, dude. If anything should have been brought back, updated, rebooted, it should have been fucking Manimal, dude. I mean, my God.
Dude.
The only thing holding that shit back was like modern technology, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they were trying to like rehash the like tech they used in American Werewolf in London or something to like do his like transformation scenes, only it was like low budge.
It was like 80s TV budge, bro, which is like lower than low budge.
I mean, it was 83 for Christ's sake.
But like the British guy was sexy and he had an eye patch, at least I think he did. But, you know what I mean? Like
sexy eye patch, Brett.
Yeah.
You've got to wear a sexy eye patch.
Oof. Thank you.
Flight of the Concordes reference there.
You love me some Concordes, dude.
Thank you for everything you just did. From the Manimal mention to that song. Yeah, you made my week, son. So anyway,
Manimal the show. Let's workshop it.
Exactly. I mean, look, here's what I'll say about that. Like, if we're all like, we have had the pleasure and displeasure of watching like the entire like visual effects world, like not all of it, but a lot of it, you know, from when we were kids in the 80s all the way up through now. And when all the CGI stuff started, you know, I remember there was this period, and it kind of happens still, but not as much, like where we were just seeing CGI for the sake of CGI because it was cool. And it was like there was zero substance and it was all flash and all this kind of thing. But something like Manimal is exactly what CGI was made for, man. You know, like this is something that I don't think, or maybe we haven't talked about, maybe we have, but you know, there's certain things that CGI just is perfect for. And that is one of them, man, is something like that where you're transforming and like, you know, all kinds of cool shit like that. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
So now would be the time to bring back a sweet Manimal show. And it'd even be cool to set it with like a cool 80s tone and look and all that.
That'd be sick.
Like, think about that actually. Yeah, go ahead.
It's probably dead in the water, but I'm looking at an article right now from 2014 that said Will Ferrell and Adam McKay are producing a Manimal movie.
Really?
I'll totally watch that.
I love Adam McKay.
But the it's from 2014, so
yes, so
probably dead in the water.
Dead.
I don't know.
Well, you know, the other thing too about that, and now even though I would appreciate this, like I did when Will Ferrell did Will Smith in Land of the Lost. Can you imagine Will Smith in Land of the Lost? Because that's what I was about to mention.
Slapping the shit out of everything.
Right? With Will Smith and Chaka. We're hanging out with the Slee Stack, bro. Whoop, whoop. So, you know, like he did Land of the Lost, and I liked the way that he did it and the way it came out. It had like a nice goofy tone to it, and it was funny and cool at the same time. But I wouldn't want to see, or I think a Manimal kind of Will Ferrell, like with that comedy style, would be funny as well. But I'm talking about a serious Manimal.
Talk about Manimal.
But I'm talking about Manimal. He can do it.
Yeah, the 80s vibe on that.
Who's the cat that can turn into a rat? Manimal
or a man?
Who is a cat that can turn into a cat?
I'm talking about Manimal. Shut your mouth. I don't know how Shaft got worked in there, but I love it.
But you're right though. Like it really is one of the better showcases of modern CGI, as you know, evidenced by this sequence. Like the sequence was super solid, dude. It wasn't like, I don't know, even 5-10 years ago, it would have been super obvious that it was just a bunch of CG animals, and it really wasn't. Yeah, it was super clean. It really was really fun.
Very much so.
Very clean.
I think it took a while for like CG to kind of get where it is today, which is like, okay, it's a tool and here's a great place to use it. And here's a place we don't want to use it. And now we're seeing people, you know, we're seeing the value of practical effects and seeing people use them and prefer them over CG. And we've also seen that they clearly are better than CG in certain situations. I think that's great. But I think we're also seeing now, like, where CG really shines. And this sequence is a really great example of that.
No doubt.
Seemingly there was quite a bit of it in this movie, and it was all really good. Even
Pretty seamless, yeah.
I don't know if this is like the place we want to talk about this, but the fucking bard spell scene gone wrong. That whole thing where like he's casting the spell of Chris Pine doing his bard thing, and then like he gets his foot caught, and like it starts to like
he's like that was so good, dude.
I'm not remembering
the skipping CD, Chris Pine with the guitar, then his face melts into his torso, and he's just like, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, it's like Chris Pine goes up to the guard, like they're trying to distract the guards, and he goes up and starts playing a song for him. Then all of a sudden you realize that it's like a spell that Simon's casting, and like it starts to like get all like he starts to like skip, and then like his eyes start drooping, and his head like melts off.
Oh,
like,
I got you.
They're just like, what the fuck?
Kind of like a hologram, sort of.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Gem in the holograms.
Yeah, gem in the hologram.
Yeah, that was fucking funny.
But it's clearly CG, and but done to good effect.
But yeah, it works perfectly. I mean, that's probably a good segue into Simon, man. He was really funny, and I completely missed the boat on how it was, a basic team that levels up throughout the movie. But he finds his own later on, and has that cool little like magic spinner thing on his hip, which was kind of interesting, and
yeah,
all kinds of cool shit going on there. I love how like super dorky he was, where he's just like, yeah, I hit on you and you said I made you sad, not for anything I did, but just because of who I am,
because of who I am.
It's like, such a dork. I don't know, man. It was great. Yeah. And, like throughout the whole movie, he's trying to impress her, but like screaming and stuff and like running away. And yeah, it's just he was a good choice.
Yeah, I mean the whole bridge scene where he
was so
that
good.
up. It was like. It's great.
Didn't realize it
what do you
started
think
there.
Of the portal gun?
Dude, yeah.
Oh my god, I loved the hither tither.
Straight out of Portal.
Great.
Who cares? It was great.
Nah,
so
very well used though.
Yeah,
excellently used.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like a perfect magical item, dude. You know what I mean? Like you can, you can talk about if they lifted it from Portal or not till you're blue in the face, but that is such a perfect magical item. Man,
yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah,
something that can do that, and they used it to great effect, but did not overuse it.
It's such a pivotal part of the whole heist,
Yeah,
that whole thing,
carriage.
like the way they like engineered that whole thing was great.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
that carriage heist mirror portal scene. Evidently, there was a behind the scenes I watched where actually zero humans other than the two directors knew what the fuck was going on. Like when they were shooting it, everyone was like, "What the fuck are we even doing?" They were super confused. And so it was just like such a confusing sequence that it wasn't until they got it into the editing room that people were like, oh, that's fucking great. Because that was a great little heist, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Mirror onto the bottom, knock the boards out, jump in, jump out. And it was really quite funny. Super heisty.
I mean, it's like a Portal level almost,
Yeah.
It's that same kind of spirit. Definitely cool stuff.
Yeah.
You mean you're talking about when they go into the vault itself?
Into
finally,
the carriage with the
helm?
mirror and then, later into the vault.
Oh, okay,
Right.
I got you. Yeah,
they smuggle a mirror with or a painting rather,
I should say,
with the portal into the carriage that's going into the vault.
Yeah,
so they can go back in later. Yeah,
and Simon's hanging out of it, and she's trying to drag him into the carriage and stuff. Clearly, it has been a little while since you watched it.
Yeah, no, I did. Well, you know what? I mean, I gotta be honest with you, man. It's a long movie.
Yeah, it's a good chunk.
It's not.
It wasn't like stupid long. It moved at a pretty good
No,
clip.
it wasn't like whatever Wick 4. It felt like 4 hours. It was. I think
most
like
of it was Keanu falling down the stairs.
Keanu on a staircase for 2 hours.
It was so funny when I saw that video the other day.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like, all right, well, Benny's got his
Ask
week
and you
is
shall
complete. Totally.
I looked for it that night.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
fair enough.
And it was already
I
there.
think it's definitely
There
this
it was.
definitely exists.
I think, it was like a solid 2 hours and 20 minutes. I mean, no, it wasn't crazy stupid long, but it was long for sure. Meow.
Well, I mean, just to come back to the structure of it too, like the fact that it's a couple of heists, the side quest helmet thing. That's kind of a dungeon crawler heist and then the actual heist, and then the double cross, triple cross, you son of a bitch kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
With the final sequence.
Final sequence.
Slap fight writ large.
The final sequence.
And I guess the last major player here is Hugh Grant, who I completely agree with you, Kev. I have such a soft spot for him these days. Like he was.
Oh my god, I couldn't stand that guy when I was younger.
Back in the day, yeah. But he's just such a charmer, dude.
When he was doing all those dumb romantic comedies, and he was like, buh, 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 buh. I was like, ugh. God,
What was he
shoot
like?
me
Wait,
in
what
the
was he like?
Face. Buh, 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 buh.
Yeah, that's all he fucking did back in the day.
Yeah, pretty much. But then, like, especially, I love what he did in Cloud Atlas, man. Like, he just blew me away playing, like, the Kona warrior to the desk guy. I mean, the hotel concierge or hotel manager to, all of the different characters that he did. Yeah, Reverend Horrocks, exactly. And all of those characters that he played, the Swanaki guy, and you know what I mean? Like, it was just, it blew me away. And I was like, wow, this is exactly what this guy is capable of.
Yeah, dude, he killed it.
Crushed it.
He's got some secret sauce, dude. He's a very charming dude, and I just found him quite funny in this one.
He did. But it was great watching him lick blood off a knife and like wear freaking body paint. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
No, because that is so against like
the grain.
whatever
Type.
type he was before, and I just thought it was brilliant, man, and he did it well.
Yeah.
So,
it's one of my favorite things about that movie, period, is, seeing all those actors go against type.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, right?
To play multiple roles.
Hanks as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, big time, man.
Yeah, well said, dude. And see, like, women playing men and vice versa, and you know what I mean? Like, Halle Berry playing a white Jewish woman, it was freaking great.
It's great. It's a fucking awesome book, too, if you guys... I'm sure you've probably read it.
I gotta read the book, man. I really do need to read the book, yeah, for sure.
Super good stuff. Good. So, yeah, love me some Grant, dude. He's a charmer.
Yeah, sure enough. And, again, bringing it again in this, he's kind of perfect for this,
Yeah.
Just the goofiness, like the whole thing, like him, like taking over the entire kingdom. That's great.
I absolutely love when a baddie is like, I'm so greedy that I'll let the entire world die, and then I'll have all the money and everyone will be dead, and like not caring. Like, I just find that it's so funny how short-sighted it is,
So dumb. I know.
Yeah, they really poke that trope in the eye here.
But
I think,
yet so true.
Yeah, it really is, dude. It's like, I want to be a quadrillionaire and I'll live in my bunker while everyone's dead. It's like, well, that'll be fun, won't it? Like, you'll have a great time.
Sure. Last man on Earth.
Super funny. The Red Witch. For a while there, I thought it was Ava Green, but it was just someone who had Daisy Head. I hadn't heard of her before. She did a good job. The whole red
Daisy Head.
Daisy Ridley. The whole red wizard witch thing was cool. I'm sure it's a huge part of the lore that I was not familiar with, but
yeah, glad you paused on that. I mean, I'm not really familiar with any of the lore, but I did like the whole kind of order of the red, wizards.
Yeah, it's cool.
Witches.
Yeah, it was cool. She was fucking creepy, man.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah, she was intense.
I think that's what's so cool about this movie is that it is so light. We just, the dialogue is just totally contemporary, but then you've got like these parts that are like super creepy, like her, and like that story that they tell about the red wizards like unleashing that weird red plague and everybody turning into like these zombies, and like that was great and freaky too, man. You know what I mean? And then you have like, when Zeke starts dialing it in as a paladin or whatever he is, like, he's like really dialing it in. Like the dude can really fight, So
yeah, I
think that is really the kind of overall killer combo of this movie, man, is those kind of elements. Like, it's like has heart where it needs to have heart. It can be creepy where it needs to be creepy, and like, this where it needs to be this, and that where it needs to be that. So
yeah, the like cabal of zombie assassins that sort of work for the red
dude,
wizards. Like that was,
right.
that whole fight scene.
That was super cool.
Where he's got his dagger sword there. Like that was pretty dope, man.
And it's a little tropey, but I loved it where it was just like kills them all, and then everyone's like, "Oh, cool, that was good." And he's like, "We need to go." Like, why?
Yeah. They're like sticking their heads back on.
Yeah, it was great. It's just a lot of fun shit in here.
There you go. Fun times were had by all. That's
The callback to the flame finger in that sequence was funny too.
Yes.
Like the party. Oh, that was one that I wanted to call out specifically on the show. Is like he's in the church doing his stupid magic shows. Like, do y'all like the smell of fresh cut grass? And he's like stealing everyone's shit. And the guy goes, "He's nicking our bits and bobs." I was like, "Oh, I gotta use that in the show."
Yes. Oh man. Oh my God, that was glorious, dude. It's funny. I was just about to bring up the whole grass thing. I thought that was so great. It's so stupid, man. You know.
And then they call back to it too in the dragon. He's like, "Hey, you remember that spell you did?" He's like, "What? The cut grass one?" He's like, "No, you fucking idiot. The candle one." It was funny. Dude.
That was great, dude. But the guy saying the bits and bobs, I was just like, yes,
Yeah, dude,
we are nerd.
It was great. Loved it. Whoa, don't die.
I'm not.
You gotta keep that
Just
in.
dying. Okay. Kept by order of Chad.
So much silly shit. With that, we just as quickly circle back to shapeshifting and Manimal. I just wanted to kind of workshop that some more. But the owl bear,
Okay,
the
let's
owl
do
bear
it.
was fucking cool, dude. That must be a D&D thing, but
It is the thing, yeah.
It's not, actually.
he's like, I got a huge crush on this girl. He's like, oh, she seems timid. He's like, that's not who I'm talking about. Then the horse turns into a fucking owl bear. Like, yeah, like that's her.
Yeah, no, it's not actually a D&D thing.
Is it
man.
not?
I read
Okay.
about that on somewhere. And it said that, like, apparently that's not a thing, but, like, there's a thing where you can kind of make a, can't remember
No,
what it's
it
called.
is.
Like a,
An owlbear is a fictional creature originally created for the Dungeons & Dragons fantasy role-playing game.
Yeah.
it was that druids can't turn into something like that.
Funny.
Because it's like a
She doesn't look
monstrosity or
Druish.
something
Oh,
like
I see,
that.
I see.
You know what I mean, Ben?
Hmm.
So, but again, they also said that like there's some sort of thing in playing the game where you can do like this is not right, but I'm going to say it like this anyway, like an on the arm rule, you know, that you kind of make up on the spot, you know. So they were kind of shoehorning it in with that, you know, and they kind of figured that people would get that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people I know play it pretty fast and loose. Like,
Sure.
the DM will be like, well, if you can roll it, you can do it.
That's it. And that's more fun, man. Like, why be a fucking stick up the ass kind of idiot about it? You know, have some fun.
Yeah, totally. Yes, Owlbear was very cool.
Owlbear? Oh, Owlbear.
Sorry, I didn't realize the angle you were going for there. I was like, no, that's definitely a fucking, am I crazy? Pretty sure that's a D&D thing.
Owlbear's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't realize you were talking about the like turning into one thing.
I was trying to.
You strapped on your neck beard and started talking about
I
D&D
guess.
rule set 3.5.
Thank you. Yeah.
Actually,
The way it works is. Let's talk about some of the other cool creatures.
Do it.
Besides, we talked about Fatty Arbuckle, the
Jonathan.
dragon cat.
Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan was definitely cool. There's nothing
Practical
like a good
effects, which is cool.
avian species, and then we had a very cool
Dragonborn
cat
dude.
tiger species later on.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they saved the cat baby from the fish mouth.
So funny. Like,
Right.
saves
Fish
the day.
80 cat. Haha.
Yeah, right.
I've
yeah,
pulled cats from fish mouths before.
Yeah. What else? That goblin creature at the beginning was fantastic, and I loved how quickly he got dispatched
Yeah.
by Olga, man.
The bat
Yeah.
face dude. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
That's what Ethan said.
Sure.
You let your kid watch this movie?
I was watching it yesterday and he came home. He's like, what are you watching? I was like, D&D, dude. He's like, oh, cool. Yeah, we watched it.
I can't wait for him to have nightmares and for you to be
Nah,
like,
he's
"Oh, I
fine."
wonder why.
Why?
He's fine. Sometimes you are so Homer Simpson like that, dude. I love it.
Hey, whatever, dude. I was like 5-6 years old when I started watching weird shit my parents didn't know about, so I'll just watch it with them.
What are the kids doing out in the back playing with rusty nails? They're fine.
They'll be all right.
Chat's sitting there and his wife beat her with a beer.
Hey. It all comes down in the wash. Best bit is that
Holy
Hannah was
hell.
watching it with us too.
Even better.
2-year-old.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, I also thought one of the educators or whatever on the panel there at the beginning was sort of like,
Adjudication.
it was like
Adjudicators?
some kind of blue lizard creature. I thought was really cool. Man.
Oh, the Dragonborn dude, the big kind of dragon guy.
Dragonborn. Okay,
Yeah, that's what they are.
yep.
Yeah.
All right. Why? Why are they Dragonborn, Chad?
I don't know. A dragon fucked a human. I have no idea. That's what they're called, though. No,
Dude,
sorry. The dragon fucked a car.
Nothing is safe from getting fucked by dragons,
That's it.
apparently. Not cars, not fucking...
Dragon got horny,
People.
fucked a car, and then that guy
They are
came
just
out.
horny.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you guys see that that Rick and Morty episode?
I don't
Which
know.
one?
The dragon fucking cars one? No.
Yes.
No, that's
Oh,
not
that was
fucking cars,
great.
but like Morty wants a dragon, so he gets one and
Yes.
he finds out that they're like total fucking pervs.
Yeah, that's in season 4. I just fired
I
that
haven't
up
seen that
again
one.
the other day because I was like, you know,
It's
what?
really
I need
good.
to rewatch this.
When a daddy dragon likes a mommy car,
Uh,
they love each other very much, and 9 months later, a dragonborn comes out of the trunk. And that's how they're born.
yeah, I watched the Snake Planet one the other day again. That one was great.
Well, in
Dude,
prep for this, I
Snake
watched
Jazz.
the heist one.
Snake Jazz, right? So stupid. Oh my god. Floating Jerry. Holy hell.
Holy hell.
Since we're so what
We're
are
bits
good,
and bobs
were there
in
any
here.
did I not well I know that but I was talking about creatures. Did we miss
Oh,
any
yeah.
like what other good creatures were there? I know
I mean,
everybody's down for
The
creatures.
halfling stuff, while
they're like
technically
the-
not a creature, was pretty cool.
Yep.
Sure. Yep.
There were those like brain
Oh yeah, the
brain
brain dog
creatures
things.
there.
Oh yeah, those were cool, man. Good call.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, the zombies were fun.
Yeah, the zombies were definitely fun.
Zombies were
Zombies are
fun,
always
and the
fun.
dead skeleton hilarity ensues, questioning scene like that. Those practical effects were awesome.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about. Like,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the zombie warriors.
the dead warriors.
Yeah.
But I thought you were talking about the red ones, the red dead warriors. Get it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they were fine too. I mean, they were just dudes in makeup,
Red
but
Yeah.
Dead.
Other creatures were there. There was like a snake guy for a second there, but I think they're just like a little bit of
Oh, I
like
saw that snake guy. Yes, that
fan
was very
service
cool.
call
man.
outs to the broader D&D world, I guess.
oh well, you've I wasn't even thinking about the maze and all the encounters in the maze.
Oh,
but
yeah, the
there's,
tiger
Ooh.
the
Or jaguar.
I forget what they're called, but yeah, it's like a tentacled tiger or something.
He was able
And
to
then there's like
project
the
holograms.
shape shifting the what the fuck is the word for it? Not shape shifters, but like the treasure, the thing that appears to be a treasure chest.
Oh,
but is
yeah, that was
actually like a
great.
monster.
Oh yeah, that was a great creature too, man.
There's a fucking name for it. I can't think of it. And then the ever famous gelatinous cube.
Oh, which was awesome.
Yeah.
It's got to be some other ones. But yeah, the creatures were pretty well fucking done.
Definitely.
Good call on the creatures. Definitely would have missed it. It's such a huge part. Like back in the day, the like Fangoria style effects were just such a huge part of the movie going experience for kind of these types of movies. So it's nice to see them kind of keep that alive.
Hey, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So he
Other
and
scenes or
bobs it
anything?
up.
Yeah.
yeah.
The time
I
stop
don't know.
effect was cool a couple times in the opening heist and then later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mean in the flashback when he's talking about the
Shaft.
yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah, and
I
the
really like that.
where he gets that tablet, the initial where she gets the horn and he gets the tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And like the trap, the like spider web thread on the tablet was cool. Like that was just there's just some cool shit going on there.
Yeah, very much so. I liked the door lock. Like it had to be opened by a Harper,
Oh yeah.
and then he like drags his fingers across it. It makes like almost kind of these invisible like finger drag marks kind of appear.
Mm.
Yeah, that was sweet too. I love stuff like that.
Yep.
Invisible finger drag marks.
Invisible locks. Melloch.
I love it.
Oh shit! What else? Again, similarly, the vault that they were keeping all the treasure and shit in for the summer games or whatever they were called was was pretty cool.
Oh, when she when Forge, Hugh Grant's like, and Safina will tell you all about this. He's like, it's sealed with the spell of Flurgenblurgen. It's like, she won't give you all the details, but yes.
What was the refresh my memory on the helm? So the rub was that the helm was down in that sort of underworld area with the bridge and
the Undercroft, yeah.
Yeah. But where, like, when they got the helm itself, was it in something or on something or?
It was in like a gold,
fuzzy to me.
It was kind of in like a Hellraiser
box
cube
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Helmet of Disjunction.
Didn't one time one of them said the helmet of
effects.
dysfunction?
Probably.
Yes.
That was funny.
The effects when he puts the helmet on
Oh yeah,
were pretty cool.
it was super like.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional, probably not, but it was super like AI art Dali kind of vibe. Like just how otherworldly and not real it looks. The extra finger
Yes.
on the
Yeah,
sausage.
yeah. It's like Doric was like
thing.
standing there, and she just sort of like dissolves into like
Yeah.
stringy spaghetti stuff. Like,
Oh, that was
That was pretty
super
cool.
weird. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool. That had a very kind of Clive Owen, not Clive Owen, you idiot.
Real Clive Owen vibe,
Yeah, Benny, I think you know what I was trying to say.
yes.
Clive Barker.
It was definitely had a Clive Barker feel to it. At least that's the pictures I had in my head. But yep, nope, not Clive Owen, dude.
A real Bob Barker vibe.
Yeah, it had a real Bob Barker vibe. Can I get a?
I really liked the little moment with Hugh Grant where they go and find out he's the, president of fucking Fantasy Town or whatever, and he's drinking his tea and it's so hot. He's like, "Can you take care of this?" And she sticks her finger in his tea. It's so dumb, but I really like that. It's like, I'm just
It
gonna
was.
leave that here for a second. Thank you for that.
I don't know. There was something funny about how he just kept apologizing for how the tea was scalding hot too.
That's super
Tea
dumb.
is scalding hot.
So hot.
Scalding hot.
Scorching.
Yeah. I liked kind of like Zenk's sword that could he could pull the dagger out
it
of
was
the
sick.
larger sword kind of a thing. It was interesting.
He was
Cool
so
fighting
funny.
stuff going on where he weaves the sword in one guy and pulls the dagger out and continues fighting. Like,
Ooh,
I
yes.
don't know. It was kind of cool.
Gotta love that, man.
Yep.
There's nothing like a blade hidden within something or another blade. It's like, come on.
That little
It's,
that's definitely a Knives Chow magazine. The
Totally.
the little bit
Right
with
alongside the
Zank and
glaive.
Edgin where
And
he's
son
just
of
like,
Knife of Cobra.
yeah, exactly. Where Zank's like, just because you've given up on your vow doesn't mean your vow's given up on you. He's like, dude, this, just because the sentence is symmetrical doesn't mean it's right. It was really funny, dude.
Yeah, it was.
Lots of self-aware quips.
Yes.
Final fight, giant hands. Puts the bracelet on, like it was like a last little mini heist. Puts the bracelet on the red priestess, and then the owlbear just kicks the shit out of her. Keeps like shaking her
yeah.
into the ground. That was really funny.
It was good.
Yeah, it was like the Hulk smash moment with
Oh yeah,
Loki.
Loki.
there you go.
Indeed.
I don't know. It was a fun movie.
Yeah, it was good. And it wrapped up in a perfect little bow, which was great. As it should.
Yes. Well executed.
Yeah.
Nuggets. There's a lot of boring nuggets in IMDb.
Yes, freaking. You know what I said before is kind of how I feel about nuggets now. It's like, because I was like,
If you don't got them, we can skip.
no, I was like thinking about. This is just a treatise on nuggets in general, Chad.
A nugget
If I
about
may.
nuggets.
If I may, a nugget about nuggets. I was thinking about, I don't know, a day or two ago. I was like, I should look up some nuggets on IMDb. And then I was like, why now? And then I was like, well, now IMDb is like sort of the go-to nugget spot. And then I was like, and then I thought, I was like, they're really making nuggets not fun and cool anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's kind of completely ruined it, man. You know, and it's like there's no effort. All you have to do is go on IMDb. You can find 300,000 of them. You know, it's
Find
like,
comic books online. You used to have to find the issues in the shops. Now you can just buy it. Same thing.
it's just beat. Yeah, and digital comics too, man.
That too.
For that matter.
Yeah.
You know, so
You used to have to hunt the shit down. Same with streaming music. You used to have to hunt the good shit down. Be like, yo, check out this track I found. But now it's like all
I know,
algorithmic.
man, right?
Everything's a 5 in the algorithm, dude. It's all algorithms.
Yeah,
all
so
the
I
way
don't know.
down.
It really it's just freaking annoying, dude. It's like,
I'm totally down with only doing nuggets when they're actually fucking interesting.
yeah, and I think the only one that I found interesting was Benny basically brought it up before. Was the original characters from the original animated series, which I was totally in love with, made their appearance in the maze. So
Yeah, I don't think I really watched much of that back in the day. I definitely remember it, but
Oh my god, dude! We should watch that with your kid,
definitely
dude.
did.
that would have been my jam.
Yeah, you gotta watch that with Ethan, dude. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm down.
So
How do we do on
yeah.
Deathy Deaths?
we did well better than last week. So Benny wasn't around, and Chad and I had exactly 0 deaths.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, or I didn't record them this week. I've got 4 recorded deaths, mostly populated by Chad.
Yeah, it's me. Delightful Death.
And your your terrible use of forbidden words. So you had the delighted by death, the proto death, and the proto Baggins death.
Dude, Proto Baggins was good. Fuck you. I also ejected at one point.
Or wait, was proto Baggins Jarhigo or was that Chad?
No, it was me.
That was Chad.
Okay, all right. And then I had the world is a vampire death
Yeah, you did. You son of a
by
bitch.
Kree of Jarhigo.
Yeah.
I did say Protato. That might be a death. I don't know.
Oh,
Oh
I
shit!
didn't catch that. I love it.
Yep, that's in there, man.
That's
throw
a good
that
one.
in there.
Well, all right.
And there you have it. Ratings.
I'll rate this a 5 something.
Perfect.
I
What's
feel
your
like
5, bro?
I've been thinking a little bit about the algo, where like most things are going to be 5s just because of the nature of the structure of the algo. So I feel like it's like, you know, a C-Lab seal of approval. So this one's a 5-6. Army of Darkness, Thor Ragnarok, Into the Spider-Verse, GOG2. Super fun, solid movie.
Yeah.
Seal of approval. Like, definitely check this out if you haven't. It was a lot of fun.
So that's your new thing on the algorithm, is adding the seal of approval to kind of.
I don't necessarily want to
extra-
like bring it in, but I guess like I just want to like essentially like if something's a 5, it's like you should definitely check it out, and anything below a 5 is a maybe, you know. And that's I'm not going to justify the silliness of the structure because I'm just fucking too far locked into it now, but.
What have I done?
What have I
No,
done?
nor should you, man. You can't do anything, bro. That the shit is
So-
freaking growing and working on its own.
It was super fun, man. This is a super fun movie, super funny, like total popcorny movie.
Yeah.
And like we were talking a little bit in Wick about like the Fast and the Furious stuff and how that's not my flavor of popcorn movie. This is my flavor of popcorn movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like got just enough self-aware stuff where it's not just like you were saying, Kev, with your excellent Vin Diesel impression of like, we're gonna go into space and fucking land our cars. You know, it's just like, I just don't care about that shit. Whereas this, I'm on board all day, every day.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here. Because you know he's trying to be serious.
Yeah.
No, we're going to take these cars into space and jump them off the ISB and down
just
into
so
Dubai. Gotta save Letty.
And I'm just making shit up. I have no idea what Fast and the Furious fucking 16 is, but I'm guessing that's what it is. So yeah,
It's called Too Much.
very much worth checking out for those that haven't.
Jump the Fonzie.
Dude, I love Jump the Fonzie.
I do too. That is excellent. Anyway, Higro, you want to go?
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to go with the default 8.
Nice.
Also, seal of approval. Check it out if you haven't. It's definitely amusing, entertaining, a good romp. Worth your time.
I'm actually going to give this a 9.2. I mean, there's really no reason not to rate it high. It's not there's nothing wrong with the movie. It's actually pretty brilliant when you take all of these little delicious bits of nerdery and mash them together in a giant Play-Doh ball. Like it makes this great experience, man. So yeah, kudos to everybody that was involved in this movie. It came out great, and they nailed exactly what they were intending to do, and I love it. You know, it's like the dialogue's great, it's funny, it's scary, it's cool, great effects, great creatures. Like, what's not to love, man? Also gets the Mulvey seal of approval. And the Matt Pinfield seal of approval. Since I can't stop sounding like him tonight, apparently. So anyway, yeah, that's it. It's great. Go see it.
And how?
And a bag of chips.
And a basket of fries.
You could
And
put
a
a little bit of
basket.
schnapps in there.
What's in this? All right, let's hammer out this what the hell we're doing next week.
Bueller, Cyborg, iRobot, Soldier, Tank Girl, Other. I'm down with Bueller or Cyborg or iRobot.
Goddamn
Got it.
robots, John! The goddamn robots!
What do you think, Ben?
I don't know. The goddamn robots, John?
Wait, which one is the goddamn robots, John?
It's fucking iRobot.
iRobot.
Oh,
John.
shit, yes. I'm down for iRobot.
Remember,
Yeah,
like,
let's do
it's
it.
like the robots are chasing him and he gets into that crash and the detective's like, dude, you
Yeah,
gotta stop
yeah,
imagining
yeah,
that the
yeah.
robots are fucking coming after you. And he's like, help the goddamn robots, John!
Isn't it Chai McBride, dude, that
Sure
plays
is.
the chief?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's played a ball-busting chief a bunch in his career, dude.
And then he
All
slapped him.
right. If the consensus, the nerd census is iRobot, then that's what it shall be.
I'm down with that. Been a while.
All right. Let me just chat. Let's do the lip service.
Word.
C-Lab, what are we doing next week, man?
iRobot.
Wow. Great choice.
We're going to slap the shit out of some robots. Some Chris robots.
Let's do it. And see James Cromwell in yet another excellent role.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you have it, folks. iRobot. That's what's coming next week. So get ready for that.
You know who's
And
in
thanks
that
for
one?
joining us. Your mom?
Close. My other dad, Bruce Greenwood.
Mom. I forgot about that.
Shirtless Bruce Greenwood from episode 7
I forgot about
of this
shirtless
show.
Bruce Greenwood. I forgot Bruce Greenwood was in this movie. Good times.
Love me some Bruce
Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Greenwood. All right, well, there you have it. Thanks for joining us for Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves. And we'll see you next week for iRobot. This is Mulvey saying goodbye.
So yeah.
Bye.
And that is going to wrap up this week's episode. Folks, if you would like to support the show, there's a number of great ways you can do so. You can rate us and you can review us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. So doing that is fantastic. So, and we thank you, the people that have done it. It's really, really helpful. Also, you can support us directly on Patreon. That's right. Patreon.com/EBD podcast. And of course, last but not least, is just talking about the show, telling your friends about the show and telling people to check out the show, which is probably a less common thing nowadays. You'd probably be doing that online rather than talking to somebody at a coffee shop. But hey, you can try it anyway.
Next time you get a cup of coffee, walk up to somebody and say, hey, give me your phone, and subscribe them to our podcast. Because that'll go well.
I'm sure that's a great icebreaker for meeting new people. So, at any rate, I just wanted to say that we really appreciate everybody that has supported the show in these various different ways. It means a lot to us, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
And if you'd like to check out the show notes for this week's episode, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/212. And of course, do not forget to check us out on social media. We spend most of our time on Instagram, so please check us out there where we use the handle @EBD Podcast. Thanks for joining us for Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, and we'll see you next week for iRobot. So long for now, folks.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy, three for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Cheese and crackers, Char Ego.